Morning Brew with friends. We got a packed house on a Wednesday. I love this. We have Jane Barthelemy in. She's an author of Good Morning Paleo. We've also got Sparky and Bianca Insignias here from the El Chante Car Club talking about a new lowrider show. Oh, this is awesome. Puddles the Blue Goose is here in ugly sweaters on the Morning Brew. Also, we got Fire Chief Chris Talaya here to tell us about Christmas tree safety. And Joe Marie is here to talk about hashtag trending, all in the Morning Brew with friends. And this is Jane Barthelemy. Good to have you on this morning.
Thanks for having me,
And you
Dan.
brought like all kinds of goodies here.
I did.
This
I brought
looks, it smells wonderful. It looks wonderful. This is great fun. But first things first, you are the author of several books on the paleo diet.
That's right.
And this is, what is the paleo diet? I've read about this, I've heard about this, but I'm still kind of mystified.
Well, the paleo diet is short for Paleolithic.
Right.
Inspired by our Paleolithic ancestors who ate a hunt and gather diet, meaning they ate no refined ingredients.
Right.
They didn't have sugars, they didn't have TV dinners, and so the diet excludes sugars, grains, dairy, genetically modified foods, and extracted oils.
So no, not even like wheat or anything really, because they weren't even growing that stuff
They didn't have agriculture. They were living in caves.
Yeah. So how did like modern man rediscover the paleo diet then?
Well,
or did we just kind of infer a lot of these things?
There actually were some very important studies done about 40 years ago that compared the diets of ancient people to our diets and outlined the differences. Meaning basically that we eat some refined foods these days and it's costing us dearly.
Well, I don't know. I mean, like, Caveman only lived to be about 30.
This is true. But what did they die of?
That's what I want to know.
Well, I would say a tiger attack. A lot of them died of starvation. And, but they didn't die of metabolic disorder or diabetes or arthritis or Alzheimer's disease.
They didn't die of the things that we now have.
The things that are on the rise now.
Yeah, absolutely. So what do we have here? We've got some interesting looking food and smelling food and great stuff.
I made for you a paleo apple pie. It's sweetened with chicory root, so it doesn't raise blood sugar or cause an insulin response, and it doesn't cause weight gain. The crust is made of coconut and egg.
Oh.
And it rolls out just beautifully. And then I also made some whipped coconut cream.
See, I was saying this earlier, and you were telling me, of course it's not dairy. And I am lactose intolerant. I'm the guy who does not eat, does not do dairy. I love dairy. It doesn't love me back.
I understand.
And then I was like, oh, no, don't put any of that. Oh, it's coconut. This is whipped coconut.
So it's a dairy-free dessert. So what do you think? Isn't
great.
that tasty? And I also brought you my favorite cranberry orange relish, which takes 5 minutes to make.
That's awesome.
And you can actually ferment it. Our great-grandmothers always fermented their cranberry sauce because they knew it was good for the microbiome, the intestinal bacteria. And anyway, this is very, very tasty. And we still have...
Is it more like a relish?
It's a relish. So this is cranberries and orange. And it's been fermented for about a week, although 3 days is enough, and it's absolutely delicious and very healthy. So those are the two things I brought for you. And I brought an example of the sweeteners and the flours that I use that are
they're gluten-free and they're processed. They're not processed sugars.
Well, yes, I use coconut, which I didn't bring today, and I also use almond meal, which is not really a flour, it's ground nuts.
Okay.
And they haven't figured out a way to process this yet. So it's basically unprocessed.
It's just finely ground almonds.
It's finely ground almonds.
Does it work like a regular flour?
It's the ratios are a little bit different in my recipes, although some substitutions are easy, others are not. And that's why it's helpful to have a paleo cookbook.
Right, and all of these recipes are in both of these, right?
That's right.
This is great. This is, zucchini pancakes. That sounds awesome.
Oh, my God.
Old world sweet potato bread with pecans. It sounds lovely.
Oh, yeah.
Very cool. So how did you fall into learning about all of this yourself?
Well, I became deathly ill and almost died. And
Not the way anybody wants to come
no,
to.
in 2004, I was diagnosed with cancer, total adrenal failure, digestive collapse, chronic fatigue, 2 frozen shoulders, and no, I think that's it.
Okay.
Yeah, that's it. And I was told to go to bed for 6 months, which I did, but I also studied in bed, and I studied online, and I read books, and I began to change my diet and change the way I lived and change the way I think and change the people that I was associating with. And slowly I came back to raging health that you see before you. But it took about 10 years to get my health back. And so gradually I found that in my diet, if I eliminate processed grains, sugars, and genetically modified foods, I'm good.
You're feeling much better.
Yes.
Very cool. And so I'm looking at all of this stuff, and I'm like, does it taste good?
Oh my God! So you better
I gotta try this.
So
this is the apple pie. And what is this sweetened with again?
Pie.
I'm assuming it's regular apples.
It's sweetened with it's organic Pink Lady apples.
And I don't know if you can see this on the camera here. It looks wonderful, and it's got a great texture to it also. It's got a very cool texture because it's got a I guess that would be the chicory on the top, right? Is that what that is?
No, it's a streusel topping on the top.
It's
It's made with nuts and coconut. And it's sweetened with chicory root.
And it tastes like brown sugar.
It does. Isn't that amazing?
That's great.
So the chicory root sweetener is very interesting because it is 0 sugars. It doesn't cause an insulin response or cause weight gain.
My body's not going to know what to do with this.
It's actually real food. And we think desserts are bad for us, but they could actually be healthy food. How about that? So you can buy this. I don't sell it, but you can buy this chicory root sweetener. It's called Just Like Sugar. You can buy it at the Montanita Co-op here in Albuquerque and Santa Fe.
And does it mix just like regular sugar? Like I toss it in the coffee? And
Yes, it mixes, and just like sugar, you can use it cup for cup like sugar.
That's very cool.
I'm going to have a bite.
Yeah, it's delicious. It's very good. So there's a lot of different things in this too. In the diet, there's no fats, or fats are considered different than how we kind of look at them now, right?
Actually, fats have been demonized for several decades now, since the 50s.
Right.
But new research
Because I make pies, and I love putting like a bunch of just all the fat I can in the crust. It makes it the best.
We've been demonizing fats now, and recent research finds that those studies were flawed. And there's nothing wrong with saturated fats. In fact, our ancestors ate them for hundreds of years, and they didn't die of the things we're dying of now.
No.
So these desserts are not low in fat. They're low in sugar and carbs, and we're finding that it's sugar and carbs that cause weight gain and cause these problems in the body that lead to diseases like diabetes and heart disease.
And the things we really should be worried about down the line.
Yes. So.
Not gaining a couple extra pounds from having a little bit of fat.
Actually, it's not fat that causes weight gain. Or even calories. It's carbs. Yeah.
Cool.
And sugars are, of course, carbs.
Well, we can find out. Where can we find your books?
Well, they're in any bookstore or online.
All right. And you can read all about the recipes here. This is the Paleo desserts, which if they all taste like this, you're in for a treat. And we'll be back in a couple of minutes on the Morning Brew with Friends. We got a packed show. Did you see Puddles getting ready back there?
No.
Oh, it's going to be fun. She's going to be wearing all kinds of awesome, ugly sweaters for the holidays.
I can't wait to see her.
Yeah, it'll be great. And I think the crew's going to want to try some of this apple pie.
Well,
we'll be back in a couple of minutes on the Morning Brew with Friends.